So the topic is the recession, how orgs can prepare, what to avoid, and the damage of drastic moves.
There's a guy's hair on this
That's
couch,
a
Becc.
girls'
What
hair.
have you been...
Look how long that is.
Oh,
Don't
even
throw it
more
away.
so.
It's
What
mine.
has the girls been doing on the
mine.
couch? Oh,
It's mine.
No, it's not.
That is my hair.
Okay, here we go.
He's
Cheating.
just doing
She's
it
cheating on somebody.
Okay, that is my hair. Whatever. So the recession. How orgs can prepare, what to avoid, and the damage of drastic moves. Who wants to start? Not all at once.
Well, I'll kick it off. I mean, and this is something that orgs should be doing anyway, but getting closer to their clients. And I've heard this as a theme throughout our tour, and it comes from you. How well do you know your clients? When was the last time that you had a conversation with your clients? A lot of folks say, oh, we take care of our clients love us. Well, how do you know? When did you speak to them? So in a recession, in good times, you should be getting close to your clients. You should be asking the questions, finding out how you can serve them, what problems they have now, what problems you can foresee for them. I mean, it's an opportunity, and we all know that, but knowing isn't doing. I know I shouldn't eat fried chicken, but
We know you do.
You ask me what time it is, it's bow time. So we know this, and my question is, what you gonna do in 2022 and beyond?
I agree with everything you've said. I think there are two things. One, when the recession hits, you're gonna see your clients having different problems. So the question is, are you the one who's gonna stand on the side, or are you the one who's gonna figure out how you can help them better, serve them better, and be with them during that time? Because it was exactly the same during COVID. Like a lot of companies starting freaking out for 1 month, and then they realized at the end of the day you still have to do business. So I don't see companies dying and doing all this type of thing. I just see companies evolving. So for me as a seller, as Larry said, spend as much time as possible with your customers, see what new problems are they facing, and see how you can help them solve these problems.
Yeah, it's interesting. What do you think?
I'm going to move this into the sales realm. There is no more important time to problem-centric sell than during a recession, because order taking is going to be few and far between. People aren't going to have extra money to spend. Fucking CFOs are going to get into the buying process and demand someone explains why they spend the money. I go so far as to say that CFOs and controllers and CEOs, whatever, are going to tell you can't spend the money, and even to their detriment. They'll be like, oh, you can't spend that, and it'd be your job to explain, well, if you don't, you'll be worse off than if you did. And so if you think you're going to be a product-centric seller, and you're like, well, my product is this and this, and we help companies achieve this, and we help them do this, and you think you're going to be that whole order-taking, future-stent, product-centric person, you're in for a world of hurt, because you're going to have to position yourself as the person from the discovery that helps build the business case based on the gap, the current state and the future state. And if you can't do that, if you think you have a bad conversion rate now, watch how horrible the conversion rate is when they're holding their money close.
Yeah.
Can I get a witness and an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Because to your point, the order taking comes when there's people in line to order, when the inbound's high. So you see a recession head, and to your point, people start evaluating. This is going to sound bad, but I'm going to say it anyway. I, to some degree, like a recession, because it shows people their weaknesses and their flaws. They're like, oh shoot, now I don't have inbound to rely on, so what do I have to do? And it's like, you have to learn how to sell. You have to learn how to actually diagnose. Or, oh shoot, our funds are tight. What tech should we actually be using to solve a problem, and why? And they start to consolidate. And I'm like, arguably you should have been doing that to begin with. I think the thing I see a lot of orgs kind of cut out the 10%, 20% of who they see as, just barely indispensable, that they're like, these people aren't adding to the bottom line, like revenue target here, and so we have to let them go. And I think that although that's not an optimal situation, even if you're in the group that's laid off, and I've been fired before, it's because I wouldn't put my CRM stuff into the CRM.
Because you didn't have noted analytics.
Yeah, well, I thought that I was above
Noted
it.
analytics.
I thought I was above it. I was like, my viewpoint was like, oh, okay, well, I'm outrunning all the other sellers, so you can do my crap for me. And it was just the attitude of like, you can pick up my crap for me because I'm too good, da da da. But point being, it taught me a lot of things. And so I think during the recession, people should take note of that. The only last thing I'd say is be careful of really drastic moves as a company. I see some companies, to your point, being like, oh my God, it's going to come. And so they lay off 500 people. And then the damage of that, not only the people that were laid off, the communication to the market of who you are that you can't hold on to. Totally. And then all of a sudden, the people internally, do I feel safe, emotionally safe with my job if 500 peers were just canned? So yeah, so I would, caution companies against premature moves. But to your point, I think it issues in a seller that they need to be selling against the whole time.
It took every ounce of my being not to say title like 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you, and I mean that.
I grow.
What else on the recession?
I think that was good.
I think that's good.
One last clip, or I want someone to answer. If I did get laid off, or I'm entering the job market during a recession, which was me back in 2008, how do I get a job?
I think you have the best explanation. No, seriously.
How do I
The
get a
show
job?
I got to get you on my T-shirts. We're in the show me economy, not the tell me economy. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I got to get you that because you love that, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. All right. Tell us about it.
Yeah, in my opinion, whether it's a recession or not a recession, whenever you want to apply for a job, show, don't tell. So if you are a seller, the first thing I would do is list all the companies that are hiring currently, figure out the one I'm passionate about the problems that they're solving, go on their websites, find their best customers, understand who are their best customers in terms of ideal customer profile, meaning company size, revenue, job titles, etc., and then reach out to a manager saying, I was on your website and saw that you have XYZ as customers. I assume that your ideal customer profile is then description of the ideal customer profile. So for example, scale up with a headcount growth of 100% year over year in the B2B tech space. And reaching out to CMOs. And then I would just go below that and say, here are a list of 10 potential companies that I assume are in that ideal customer profile. I'd love to have 20 minutes of your time to show you how I would actually launch my sales cadence or sales sequence to reach out to them and book more meetings.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
It would at least get the meeting.
Have you ever received an application like this?
No.
But I used to do something similar. So when you were, hold on, 2000.
I wasn't born.
No, I know. You were
He's
10
born in
years old.
91.
Okay,
2001?
so in about 2001, around 2001, 2002, you were 10 or 11 years old. And I'll show you later. To get a job, I created, I think at the time it was like a 14 to 16 page PowerPoint presentation that was broken up into really quickly who I was, the opportunity that I saw at the place, my leadership style, how I would, what the problem was, how I would solve the problem and everything, right? And I was trying to get a job with AT&T, and it's a funny story how this comes around. They said no to me. So then I took this thing, I sent it directly to the VP of sales or the EVP of sales, and she's like, wow, it brought me back into the cycle, right? Then I made it to the final 2, and I remember what question I answered that fucked it up, showed some of my inexperience. But anyways, I got to the final thing, didn't get the job, but the point being is I was in play, and I created that opportunity. Now here's how the story comes around. Her name was Tammy. She hired another guy. That guy didn't make it 6 months. And I wrote him on. I said, Tammy, I understand it didn't work. It's too bad. I would have loved to have worked with you. I got another job somewhere else, which worked in my favor. I made a boatload of money. That allowed me to move through and start this gig. About 2 years into this gig, a woman hired me at Verizon to help fix a huge chunk of their business. Who do you think the CRO of Verizon at this time was? Tammy. So Tammy, you didn't hire me, but now you're paying me $25,000 a month to fix your fucking problem.
So that's it. That is Green Room Candor episode
225,000.
9-ish, 10-ish, 200,000. And this is the recession, pitfalls to avoid, and what to do during it to crush it in terms of success.